I have a new announcement for you today. Announcing today for the very first time, Retire Mentorship Magazine. Yes, we are now doing a magazine. But before I get to that, let me first give you a quick update on what I'm calling Retire Membership 3.0. Okay, so if you've been with us for a long time, you've heard me iterate on this a few times. But basically, if you are new to this, we have a whole membership program where you can sign up and just get more additional content sent to you weekly, access to other things that are on the website, and just a bunch more things that we can do. So, as you know, Retire Mentorship exists to help you retire successfully and stay successfully retired. So we do that in a variety of ways, right? The podcast is how it all started. That's what you're listening to now, or maybe watching it now on YouTube, right? We're on YouTube now. It's another iteration where I now do it in front of a camera, same podcast, but just in front of a camera, so you can watch it if you want to instead of listening to it. So we have that. Then I built out a whole bunch of workshops. So the podcasts are like 15 to 20 minute topics, right, that I discuss through. And then we've got workshops, and these are 4 hour-long deep dives into certain topics with a lot more interaction, a lot more visuals, things like that you can really do a big study into. And so those are also free on the website, but if you want to get workbooks for those workshops or hear more about the podcast, then you need to become a Retire member. You can do that at RetireMentorship.com, or you just click on Retire Membership when you are on RetireMentorship.com, and it'll take you to that. And just with an email and a couple of just quick questions, you will get access to more content, right? So we have workbooks for our workshops that you can get on the membership thing. We have a whole bunch of flow charts and checklists and things that you can access to that help you make better decisions. And then I also send out a weekly email. And so if the workshops are an hour long, which they are, and if the podcasts are 15 to 20 minutes long, I have a whole bunch of other just mini topics that don't take long enough to do a whole podcast on them. And so those I send out as a weekly email. There are sketch and memo emails. So for a while, I've been sending out Nick Murray's client corner memos that he writes and distributes to advisors monthly, and then I pass those along to you. And I'm also a big fan of Carl Richards, who does a bunch of sketches. And so we kind of put those together and said, hey, if we, here's a sketch, here's a memo, just a short, 300 to 500 word little essay on the sketch itself, just to give it some more, stuff. And, just a shorter, just tidbits of things I think are helpful and encouraging for people. And some people absolutely love those. And so if you become a Retire member, you get those delivered to you weekly. So what does that mean? What are these sketch and memo things? Well, if you're on the YouTubes, you'll see this. If you're not, you can go to retiremembership.com. There's actually this example will be online, so you can see what am I getting? What are you emailing me all the time? Do I need more emails? Probably not, but maybe you do. So maybe this will be worth it. And so, for example, here's one that went out this past Tuesday. The Big Power of Small Degrees. And it's got, for you who are just listening to, it's got a little sketch of the United States, and it's got 2 lines diverging from about where San Francisco would be, one ending up in New York and one ending up in Miami. And it says on the one hand, a small change in degrees becomes a big change in results. Right? So that's the sketch. So you can just see that, you kind of know what it means. But then the memo goes into more detail. So I'll just read this one. The Big Power of Small Degrees. Imagine you're in San Francisco and you board a plane. The goal is to make it to New York City. The plane takes off and the pilot turns the jet so that the nose is generally pointing east. You're off. You're on your way to the Big Apple. Or are you? Will generally going east from California always result in reaching New York? Of course not. There's a precise heading the pilot must take to reach the destination. If the pilot's direction is off even by a few degrees at departure, compounding that misdirection over 2,500 miles plus will be a massive difference. According to a quick Google search, it is 2,586 miles from San Francisco to New York. If you travel only 4 more miles, you could end up in Miami. Miami? How? The distance from San Francisco to Miami is 2,590 miles. All it takes is a few degrees of difference in trajectory, and you're in an entirely different state. Same travel time, wildly different results. That's the big power of small degrees. Small changes in degrees compounded have a big changes in results. All you need is time. Take investing rates. Let's say you have $1,000 invested at 10% or 11% annually. That isn't a huge difference in rate of return. You barely notice it after 1 year, as 11,000 or 1,110 isn't materially better off than 1,100. $10? Pshaw! You don't even notice it any more than you could tell after 10 minutes in a plane that you were actually on your way to a different state. But what about after 30 years? 10% will turn $1,000 into almost $20,000, but 11% will turn it into $27,000. And what if you could save $100 into it versus $110 per month into it for 30 years? You're now looking at $206,000 versus $285,000. Earning an extra $80,000 is no small number. Small changes have significant effects over a long time. Technical changes have big effects, like squeezing out an extra percent in your return. Behavioral changes can have big effects, like saving $11 more per month. Synergistic changes can have massive effects, like saving you $20 per month in taxes, a technical change, and deciding to save $11 of it, behavioral change. It may not seem like much in the short term, but stick to it. Patience and discipline will win the day. I guarantee it. Stay the course. That's it. Pretty easy, right? So it's kind of, and I actually just recently started just recording those emails as well. So that way you can get the email, you can just see the sketch visually in a quick second. And then if you don't want to sit there and read the email, you can just hit play and then you can just listen to it as you go about your day and do your business. So if you want like little shorter tidbits, then being on the weekly email and getting that as part of Retire Membership is always a good thing to do. You can grab that. Of course, if you become a Retire member, also you get a copy of my book, hardcover, paperback, audiobook, however you want it, ebook, however you want it. That's included, absolutely free for you. It's also available on Amazon. That's 3D Retire Mentorship, so you can get that. And so we're just giving away tons of stuff by becoming a member. And now, again, one of the things that you get as a Retire member is our Retire Mentorship Magazine. So this is hot off the presses. It just was delivered to us today as I'm recording this. This is coming out a little bit later for you guys, but. So yeah, well, basically what we did is we said, hey, there's a bunch of people out there that don't manage their email very well, right? Perhaps you're one of them where you have like 800, or I just met someone the other day who has 66,000 unread emails in their inbox. And so do we really need another email? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people, I stay on top of my email, but there's a lot of people that don't, right? And so do we really need another weekly email that we're getting that's just going to get lost? Or maybe you're even interested in these topics and you've seen some of the graphics and you like them and you'd love to see them, but most of them just get lost, right? So what we decided to do is to take some of the best sketches and memos that I send out, sort of loosely as voted on based on the feedback we get from people. And some of the ones I just like, maybe you guys don't like them, but I like them. So I'm going to send them out again. And we basically have compiled those into our now quarterly magazine. And so, it's a bunch of the same, sketches and stuff that are in the email that I send. There's also a few other things in here. We'll have a few other kind of longer form big graphics and some of these other things that are in there that are really interesting. And so again, it's just like everything else we do. It's meant to increase your knowledge a little bit, inspire some action, deepen your belief in financial planning, give you a little bit more motivation to stay the course or to get a course and then stay it, I suppose. And so yeah, if you're one of those people that like, hey, I like your content, I would love to see these sketches, memos, but I don't really need another email coming in, this is for you. Right, and it's a totally new form factor. It's pretty good quality, and so you can just have this and read this. And again, I always encourage, like, if you consume any financial news or economic news or really any news at all, then I think you should be consuming this material, because so much of that is negative, so much of that is designed to make you fail as an investor, and what we're trying to do here is help you succeed. So if you consume any news at all, if you like anything on paper, then you'll want to get these. So if you are a client of mine or you're already a Retire member, then you will be getting this first volume, and you're a Retire member, and we have your address, right? So you ordered one of the physical books, and we have your address. Then you will be getting this first one right away. We'll be sending these out soon. So you'll get that one automatically so you can see it. If you want to keep getting them as a client or as a retirement member, or you're a retirement member but you never gave us your address because you ordered the e-copy or the audiobook or something from my book, then you will need to go to RetireMentorship.com, click on the magazine. There's a big icon, right? You scroll down just a tiny bit, you'll see it there. And there's a short little place where you can just give us your address and we will send you the magazine. And we will just keep sending them until you tell us to stop sending them. So this is quarterly. It's not going to bother you. We're not going to clog up your mailbox or anything. So it should come. I'm trying to get them out shortly after the turn of the quarter. So there'll be just a slight, some quick tidbits on what happened in the previous quarter. Not boring like market commentary, just general interesting things or things you may have missed and all the doom and gloom of the normal news that's out there. But yeah, there we go. Retire Mentorship Magazine. I kind of like it. I like seeing this stuff in print. It feels good. I must admit there's something different between reading something physically on paper and reading it on a screen. So I like that. So even if you do get all the emails and read them all, it might be still fun. All these should be, like, almost all of them should be evergreen, right? Which means that they're always valid, not just when they come out. So it might be fun to review some of those as well. So there we go. Retire Membership 3.0, we'll call it. Magazines, all these different things, workshops, weekly email, lots of stuff going on. We're just pumping content out there because, again, I'd rather spend my time and some money on educating people and helping them along instead of just spending it on advertising or spending it on chasing down people that don't actually want to work with me. With the hope, of course, being that when you are ready to work with a financial planner or when you need some one-on-one advice and one-on-one help, that will be top of mind and that you'll want to work with us. So over at my financial planning firm. So thanks again for listening. We'll be back next week with some more content and we'll see you then. Cheers. If you enjoyed that, you would love being part of our free membership community. It's called Retire Membership and it has a host of benefits all for free. For example, you can always buy my book, 3D Retirement Income, on Amazon. But if you join us at Retire Membership, we will send you either a hard copy or paperback for free, provide the ebook and the audiobook so that you can listen to it if you don't have time to read it. In addition to that, we'll also provide you with a bunch of content that you can't get anywhere else. For example, we have our quarterly Retire Mentorship Magazine, which comes out quarterly and has no ads whatsoever. It's just timely content to help you stay the course. We also have workbooks for our free online workshop to help you get the most out of those, flowcharts to help you make better decisions, and a weekly email to provide timely content that you can unsubscribe from at any time. We never ask for any payment information, and we never share your information with anyone else. We just want to provide timely content and help you stay the course to retire successfully and stay successfully retired. There's no reason to wait, so join us now at RetireMembership.com, where you can click in the link in the description, and it'll go right there. We can't wait to see you in the community. Cheers. This podcast is educational only and is not investment, tax, or legal advice.